Have you ever just walked into some invisible wall called resistance? Maybe resistance feels like you just got caught in quicksand. Or maybe resistance is just that deep feeling in your body that's like, no, 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 bail, 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 bail. No judgment. What if resistance could be different? Dare I say, even fun? When we think about resistance, oftentimes we think about those physiological sensations, holding our breath, feeling stuck, or maybe you start to think about the inner dialogue, that voice of the inner critic that starts to whisper things like, what are you doing? What if this fails? What's the point? Other people are doing it. Take a breath if any of that resonates. I'm so excited to be talking to you today about how to make resistance fun so you can really start to break away from patterns like self-sabotage, overwhelm, and decision fatigue, and really move into a life with more energy, more time, and more just choice and emotional freedom, because that's the goal. So drop a yes in the comments if you're like, Des, that sounds absolutely delicious. I'm Des Caminos, everybody, embodiment and somatic practitioner. Hello, women of wisdom, and hello, Instagram, and welcome to Thursday Tickles, a time where I tickle you with information for your personal expansion. Why? So you can have more power and choice in navigating all of life's challenges and adventures. Don't worry, I'll only tickle you for a short time. But the thing is, I'm so excited to be here with you, to be sharing these resources, to have served over hundreds of women internationally, to be supporting committees and conferences around the world. But it wasn't always like this. The truth is, I struggled with resistance. It was like a silent inner battle, an inner war that I was always kind of facing and navigating. And maybe you can relate to that. I remember so many times catching myself in patterns of perfectionism, of just feeling so gosh darn overworked and exhausted that I just remember thinking, like, is this my life? I would struggle with waking up throughout the night, constantly having dysregulated sleep. I found myself falling into patterns of numbing, of unhealthy coping mechanisms like drinking some wine, drinking some beer, drinking some cocktails. Take a breath if you're someone who just finds yourself in the place of having to have a glass of wine to wind down the day. No judgment in that. And I also found myself being extremely reactive with my friends or with my relationships with myself because I was just so gosh darn full all the time. And I was so frustrated and resentful that the people around me didn't seem to understand what it felt like to really be in that place of doing. Needless to say, I had no idea that what I was navigating was actually resistance. And so I just want you to take a moment and think about, what is the relationship that you have with resistance? What does it evoke for you? Let me know one word in the comments. And I want you to imagine a life where resistance isn't one of heaviness, of frustration, of overwhelm, of burnout. One where resistance doesn't come with the heavy side effects of being reactive, of over drinking, of chronic stress, of decision fatigue, of decision paralysis, overwhelm, burnout, self-sabotage. All those side effects are just bye-bye. And you get to say hello to a new relationship resistance, one of curiosity, of play, probably maybe still a little bit of annoyance, but still nonetheless. How different do you think your day-to-day would look? Would you chase your dreams a little longer? Would you chase your dreams a little further? Would you take a nap and not feel guilty? Would you lean into guilt-free choices? Because what I want to share with you now is how. How do we make resistance fun, Des? And one thing that I'm going to share with you, which can be super fun, super hot, and super playful, and plot twist, it's been scientifically proven to really show sustainable effects in terms of creating psychological distance from this emotion. Plot twist, you can also use it for other emotions, but I digress. So, what is this trick? Personify. Can you personify your resistance? Can you really bring it to life? Really allowing yourself to think, if your resistance came alive, came outside of your body and took physical form, what would it look like? What kind of music would it listen to? I know many of you in my stories have been sharing that your music would listen to things like Tool, things like metal music, things like Metallica, rock. And so, what food even would your resistance eat? These might seem like super weird and quirky questions, but the goal here is, again, to create some psychological distance from these bigger emotions that you're navigating, specifically resistance, and to start cultivating and creating a new relationship with it. Because we don't want to get rid of resistance. We just want to start to create new associations and relationships with it. So take a moment and just think, what does your resistance look like? Those are the 3 questions that I'm going to send you away with as your little tickle topic homework. Ooh, that's fun to say. What kind of music would your resistance listen to? What food would it like to eat? And what would it look like? My resistance is this very big, heavy, fluffy, red monster with little horns, but it's also kind of like leaving like a little snail trail because it's like always just kind of like moving super slow and heavy to the ground, and it's always got kind of like quicksand around it. Think of those 3 things and let me know. Share them, slide into my DMs, or just share them with a friend. Because let me tell you, nothing cuts faster through fear, resistance, or even anxiety than taking empowered action. Remember, this is your life, not your resistances. So bring it to life, personify it, get creative. Because the truth is, what is out there isn't working for many of us because one size doesn't fit all. So everybody, I'm just Caminos, embodiment somatic practitioner. Follow for more resources here on my Instagram page. And for those of you in my Women of Wisdom community, what's up? I hope that you've been enjoying the resources that I've been sharing with you, and I'll be putting in a resistance checklist over the weekend so you can really start to cultivate a new relationship with your resistance, one of freedom, choice, and sovereignty. So I'll see you ladies there in the group, and goodbye, Instagram awkward time where I get off live. Goodbye, Women of Wisdom.